welcome back. Been a while since I posted a video. We've been, of course, working on the wonderful 55 Chevy 210 delray. In the last videos, of course, we were showing you how I put in the floor and whatnot, and I'll flip you around here. We've done a few patch panels. I made a little short on making this patch panel just because of the factory curve, whatever the heck they call it, was going to be really difficult to try and make myself. And of course they sell, I think, up to about here or so, quarter panels, like from the door, like what I call the rocker, but they call it the rear quarter, down at the bottom there, and it goes all the way in. Of course, I don't have that kind of money, so I actually took pieces of a 4-door rocker and cut them up and got them all welded together, and made that cool little patch. There's still quite a bit to do under there. Let me see if I can get the camera under there. You can see I've got to take out where that to the rust all the way back to where I made this panel. It's actually goes in there, so that's actually finished off there. I still have a little bit more work to do inside there. I made this, I think, a little long. I think it just needs to go back about 1/4 of an inch when you look at the other side, and then of course put the plug in. But that little patch panel is done. Had a spot underneath the window here where it was just poking holes right through. Let me see if I can show you. Kind of like, if it'll focus. Well, it's not going to show you, but there's some little pinholes here. Of course, it was rotted. Made a little patch panel. I'm going to go through and use a metal reinforced filler on, of course, that patch panel, that one. If we go around, not sure if I even showed this patch either, but yeah, we did that patch there. Well, I did that patch there. I don't know what I'm talking about. There was a nice little crease that I got straightened out. There's still a little whammy there that I've got to clean up, but yeah, I don't have a TIG welder, but I MIG'd it, and I am going to be happy with it, especially once I get some plastic on it. And of course, the toe board over there. I'll go over there and show you that. Ooh. And I don't know about anybody else, but I start using my project as a table for the tools, at least for what I'm working on. And then of course I pulled the heater box out. I had to do anybody who's watched any of the later videos and seen the toe board was rotted out. I was going to try and make a patch panel and said, nope, we're not going to do that. We're just going to buy a patch panel and get her in there. It fit pretty dang well. I was going to keep the dimmer switch for 57. It's actually indented, and then it's got a little cover that the dimmer switch attaches to, and then of course it's inside the cab of the vehicle, which makes it a little easier to change out because this one's going to be from underneath. But I was going to put in the full toe board, but then I was like, let's save as much sheet metal as possible. And of course I got the little speed nuts for the handbrake welded in on this side. The speed nuts for the accelerator are welded in on the bottom part. I still have to weld this seam on the outside. There's a body brace or firewall brace that goes down that I've got to weld as well. And then the floor will be 100% finished. I went ahead and moved on to the dash. I don't know if anybody had seen it before, but it was the same weird looking teal grayish. I mixed my paint and primer when I was like 15 or 16, because this was going to have to sit outside for a little while. So I went ahead and sprayed what I had already sanded down to bare metal and covered the whole car, because it was going to have to sit for a little while. Of course, the floors were all rusted out, so it didn't really matter. But anybody who'd seen the last videos, you could see where these, this and these two shiny spots were basically someone had drilled about 50 or 60 holes around the windshield wiper, took the flat piece out, and then curled it in to put gauges. They did the same thing with the cigarette lighter, and of course the driver drinker side of drunk driver. Been watching too much Vice Grip Garage. But the driver side, not the drinker side, the driver side, I did make a couple of templates out of another dash. I'm going to have to cut this out. I actually pushed it in. You can't see it on camera, but it's actually got an indentation in it for the shape. That, of course, is the cigarette lighter. I took I'm going to end up running Bel Air dash trim. I know it's a Delray car, but with the work I did on the dash, I'm very confident it wouldn't show if I went with the stock white in the center and black on top and bottom. Really wouldn't show my work, because honestly these patches turned out way better than I ever could have expected. But as you can see there, I made my mark. I had already made a template, and I took the 210 style. Of course, it's basically the trim ring. I made a little template, and I've looked at the convertible 56 and my dad's sedan, and of course I took the 55 dash and made a little template, and of course that trim ring goes right there. So I'll have to drill a little hole, take a nice flat file and do a bunch of work, because the top of that's flat, and then there'll be a little notch taken out of it. I'll actually make a video of that when I go to drill these, and I'll probably show exactly how I made the templates, just to help somebody else, because I mean it's going to be pretty simple, but you know, you can't think of everything. Of course, you can see the bright blue ashtray. When the car sat outside, the ashtray that was in this, when I started working on this about a year and a half ago, when my dad gave it back to me, gave me the car back, this is actually the ashtray out of it. Really nice ashtray, but if you look inside, I mean, it is roached. I mean, it's not rusted through. They're both pretty straight. I got to clean the other one. But yeah, you can even see, I don't know if it'll show on camera, but there's a nice little run there. And this is factory paint, because that's all original paint on the dash. But yeah, I'm getting it all cleaned up. I'm going to make those holes. And then I might get it in primer, but I still have my last little bit of metal work. We go in here next to my lamp. You can see the monstrous bullet hole in the roof there. And then there's a spot on the replacement door that in the corner on the other side that I've got to fix, but I'm going to pull the doors off to body work them, I think. And then this door, which I never noticed before, of course there's a big dent there, another big dent. So we got a dent here, nice sized whammy. Then as you go down, there's another big whammy there. And of course, here's And then down here it's got a nice crease and a little bit of pitting where the rust is kind of showing through. Haven't decided if I'm going to make a patch panel when I try and straighten this door. And another thing I noticed, as you can see, these little slots, and I've noticed them on the passenger door, and I was looking at the driver door, and granted this car's been at the house for probably 20 years, and I've had it back for a year and a half, and when I was younger working on this thing, I mean, of course it's sitting on a four-door frame, so it's had quite a bit of work done to it, because it's sitting on a California one-piece frame that was came with a four-door parts car I bought, because the front frame horns on the original frame for this car were pretty wonk. So we went ahead and took the body off and dangled it from the tree, did the wing dangle. It's actually not the first time, or yeah, that was the first time that we took it off of the frame, rusty floor and all. And then after I did that, we decided about a year ago, I was like, hey, you know, you gave me the car back. I had painted, I think, the front frame horns, put the tubular control arms and stuff on it, and I was really stoked. Pops was like, move it back into the main shop, so I got it moved back into the main shop. Once it was moved back in here, I mean, I really started going full tilt. Stuck a 6-cylinder out of a 55 Chevy that a friend had. He was dropping a V8 in and was like, here's a free 6-cylinder. So I was going to throw it in and just put it around the yard with the absolutely horrid floors until I could save up some money. But it was just motivation to keep going on the project, of course. That being said, Pops showed up and was like, hey, him and a buddy Nate went to go pick up a floor pan for Buddy's hardtop, Nate's hardtop, and get there, and there was no hardtop floor pans. So Pops, already having the trailer ready to go, was like, well, you know, you've got some sedan floor pans, I'll take one. Got a hell of a good deal, I think around $900, and when you know what those cost, add shipping, but Pops was already there, so he paid cost. We had a 54 full floor pan that we got a hell of a deal on, that he said, hey, sell that. We actually were able to just swap the money for one floor pan for the other, so it worked out. And it just kind of snowballed from there. Of course, a lot of people watched the video where we had this dangling from the tree out in the side yard. You know, we've used that tree to pull the body off of this car actually once before. Yeah, we had done that, and it just kind of progressed from there, and we went from trying to get it to run to just taking it back off. It's now got full floor, toe boards all welded in, and of course the dash is fixed. And I'm gonna get some, next video is probably gonna be me drilling some holes in the factory spots, making a couple of templates, and I'm gonna probably time lapse me just going to town, getting the holes done, and we're gonna get the dash painted just for a little bit of motivation. But of course, I think I'm gonna probably end up, we'll cut that hole, and there's the exit on the other side that's absolutely atrocious. I don't know if we'll be able to get over on that side too easy, but I'll show you that, and then I'm gonna wrap up the video. Where there she blows. That's the exit wound. We kind of just hammered her over, but I mean, it's pretty big. And of course, I'm going to have to pull this door off, weld up the holes, and then drill the holes for the trim. Got some other holes I'll have to weld up, because I'm only, yeah, well, it's 55, so didn't have trim going that far down. And then, of course, the little teeny tiny rust hole that, of course, grew after I bought a rust-free door. Of course, had rust, but shit happens. Of course, glove box door, mint condition. Yeah, that's an update. That's what's been going on with the 55. I'm going to shoot another little video where we kind of show, this is Pops's sedan, just kind of a little sneak peek. We're going to do another video where we show you what we were doing to that car, but that'll be after the new year. But that's just a quick update on what we've been doing in the garage here. Stay tuned. Next year will be hopefully off the chain. If I don't get this video out before the new year, then Happy New Year, and yeah, that's what we've been doing. Thanks for watching, guys.